Hi, Ashika. Thank you for joining me here today. And today I want to share with you some tips, or rather, three questions that you can ask yourself if you feel like you want to mindlessly scroll on your phone. All right, the reason why I felt motivated to create this episode was because I watched this video by another entrepreneur called Jen Gottlieb, and she was sharing some strategies that you can do to stop yourself from doom scrolling. So doom scrolling and mindless scrolling are more or less the same thing, except that doom scrolling tends to focus on the negative news. That's when someone intentionally looks for negative news and goes down the rabbit hole of looking for even more negative news to read or view, and the person goes down the rabbit hole in that sense. And at the end of the day, the person feels really bad about himself or herself. I would say that nobody feels really good after a session of doom scrolling. And at the same time, mindless scrolling is almost similar, except that this is what we do when we are usually bored or when we are mentally drained. So when we are mentally drained, sometimes we feel like we want to give our minds a break, but we don't know what to do. Maybe we have a short window of time, maybe about 30 minutes of free time, and we can't exactly do deep work with that, or we can't do much with that amount of time. So what do? You don't know what to do. We pick up our phones and start scrolling. So how is it bad for us? You might be wondering, why is scrolling bad for us? Well, the thing is that for some people, they get incredibly overstimulated by screens. And it's not just children who get stimulated by screens, adults do too. And if you actually interrupt someone who is in the middle of scrolling, usually you can see or notice that that person will get really bad tempered or get really angry with you for interrupting his or her session of mindless scrolling. So that is a sign of someone who gets overstimulated by screens. Of course, that's not a very good impact, not a very good effect or impact or outcome of mindless scrolling. Another reason why mindless scrolling is not great for us is because it doesn't give us any form of real joy. And when we are scrolling, we may come across an entertaining video or two, gives us a quick dopamine hit, but it does not give us any form of real joy or create any lasting memories in any way. And basically, the time that we spend mindless scrolling is just time wasted into this black hole of nothingness. It's time that we are not creating memories, not creating any real joy, not being productive either. So it's basically a wasted time, in other words. And another reason why mindless scrolling is something we may want to reduce is because it doesn't enrich our lives in any way. I think that ties into the previous point as well. It doesn't enrich our lives in any way, and usually many of us actually feel worse after that. So if it doesn't make us feel good, there is no incentive or reason for us to continue with this habit. Personally, my experiences with mind scrolling is that it gives me mind fog, even if I've just scrolled for 10 minutes, it gives me mind fog and I can't think clearly. It drains my energy. It drains my mental energy. It drains my physical energy. I'm sure there is a scientific explanation for that. And it makes me feel really lethargic, even if it's just a short session, 10, 15-minute session of scrolling. It has a really negative impact on me personally. And I actually feel worse at the end of a mindless scroll session. So that is why I want to reduce this habit. And there are three options or three questions that I ask myself whenever I feel myself sitting down, taking up my phone and starting to scroll through Instagram or forums. I'm not sure what other people what other websites people go to when they are scrolling. I guess TikTok is one of them. TikTok, Instagram forums. For me, it's Instagram and forums and Facebook. So I'm not sure. Maybe you can let me know, what do you mindlessly scroll through when you are doing that? Let me know in the comment section. Anyway, so there are three questions that I ask myself, or three options I give myself when I feel like I want to mindlessly scroll. So number one, I will ask myself if there is a household chore or errand that I would rather be doing right now. I work from home, so there are always chores for me to do. And if you work in an office, I'm sure there are errands and chores for you to do in the office as well. I've not worked in an office for a long time, but I am very sure that there are things that you can do around the office. And there is option one. That is option one that I give to myself if I want to mindlessly scroll. Option two is I will ask myself if there is anything pleasurable or anything that makes me feel happy instead of scrolling. And it can be something as simple as meditating, reading a fun non-work related book. Maybe people watch a fun music video, something that makes me feel happy and pleasure in any way. And option three is that I will ask myself if there is anything simple or something which is simple and almost brainless business or work task that I can do during this period of time. So that can be something like pinning Pinterest images, maybe do some keyword research for your next video, or other kinds of tasks which do not require too much mental energy, something, or maybe admin work, or maybe clearing your inbox, whatever it is, something which doesn't require much thought. And usually after asking myself these three questions, I would say that I would answer yes to one of them. And I want to share with you what I've done last week instead of mindless scrolling. And what I've done last week was that I number one, what I did was wash the walls of my living room, which is not exactly the most glamorous thing to do, but I wanted to mindlessly scroll and ask myself if there is any chore I would rather be doing right now, and it was washing the walls of my house. So I washed the walls of my living room, and that felt really great because I have a cleaner house. I'm in a better mental state because of that, and I'm being rather productive. And what I also did was to meditate. I meditated. I had a short period of time, and I chose to meditate instead of mindless scroll. Of course, that brings so much benefits for myself mentally and physically. And I've also done breath work last week instead of scrolling. If you are not sure what breath work is, it helps you to calm your nervous system and helps to calm you down mentally, physically, and emotionally. And if you're not sure what it is, you can go to YouTube to find out more about it, or you can download an app like Insight Timer, and you can do breath work with that app. It's a free app, by the way. And what I've done also is to watch a Netflix show, which I've been wanting to watch for a long time. So that was enjoyable, and I'm glad I did that instead of scrolling. And I also read a chick lit book, obviously not a work-related book in any way. So that was fun. That was a really fun activity. And I feel like there is no embarrassment there's nothing to be embarrassed about if you like a certain genre of books or movies. I'm almost 40, but I still enjoy chick literature and chick flicks. So I still indulge in them if I want to. And I also took a nap. There was one time I felt like I wanted to scroll through forums, and I asked myself if there is anything enjoyable I'd rather be doing right now. And the answer was to take a nap. And I took a nap. And of course, I was so refreshed when I woke up. And I'm obviously glad I did it instead of scrolling. And one of the things I did last week also was to write the outline for this podcast episode. I wanted to be minimally productive, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do because I had a 30-minute period of time free, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I wanted to be minimally productive. So what I did was to write the outline for this episode, and that was an incredibly productive thing for me to do instead of scrolling through the internet and feeling worse after that. So that was what I've done last week to replace mindless scrolling. And I hope that what I've shared with you is helpful for you in any way. So if you feel tempted to mindlessly scroll or doom scroll this week or today, you can ask yourself these three questions that I said. Option one is to ask yourself if there is a chore that you would rather be doing right now. If the answer is no, go to option two. Is there anything enjoyable that I would rather be doing right now? If the answer is no, you can ask yourself question three. Is there a simple, almost brainless work task that I would rather be doing right now? And I'm confident to say that you would answer yes to one of these, and you would have a relatively more productive day instead of scrolling through the internet. All right. So if you are a coach, or if you are an aspiring coach, or a mindset influencer in any way, and you want to run your own productivity masterclass, you can get my Done For You Productivity Masterclass. It's linked in my description box. I have done 80 Canva slides for you. It's brandable, so you can change the slides to suit your needs if you want to, or use them as they are. I've also included a done for you workbook and also a done for you script. So all you have to do is just launch it, conduct a Zoom masterclass and sell the recordings. And I hope that will help you to save time and also make money. That's all I have to share with you for today. Thank you for joining me. See you next time. Bye.